What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Got my boy Chuck here today, and we got Chino. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
What up, Chris? Another day in the quarantine.
Yes, sir. How you
Yep.
how you holding up, Andrew?
Well, I'm hanging in there. Today I just caught up on Sundays are my are my laundry days. So that's
Sucks.
pretty much all I've been doing, and just
You know,
reading
you
up
know, you
on
know what
things.
fixes that? Getting
What?
married. Get yourself a
Eh,
wife, and then they'll do laundry.
Uh, Not necessarily because ditto that I did laundry today. I popped it into the washer and the dryer, and it was a joint effort with the folding. But so
I,
yeah, not
Well, I
necessarily.
mean, she's pregnant, so you're just doing the good dad, or the good husband deed
That's
right now.
true.
So
you know what? I don't like anybody touching my clothes. So even if I was married, I don't think anything would change.
no,
So
trust me, bro. Once you guys are married, what you gotta do the first night, like when you sleep together for the first time or whatever, just fart. And
okay,
then that's like
break
that's
the
like
ice.
you're in. That's it.
Br-
Okay,
Break the ice, get it
That's it.
in. First
Be like, hey,
night.
get out
welcome
of the
to marriage,
way.
honey. Fap, 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 fap.
Gotcha.
That's it. You're in.
All
That's
right,
it.
I'll keep that in mind.
There
Or
you go.
poop while she showers. That's also another way to get
That's
it
a big one too. Yeah.
in.
Okay. Wow.
So
Learning a
today's
lot.
topic is about pooping and showering. Yeah.
Learning a lot. I mean,
There you
we
go,
can talk
Gino.
about marriage tips instead of
Well,
football,
we'll
but
we'll do a podcast about marriage, and we'll guide you in the wrong direction apparently. So,
nice.
well, today, guys, we're gonna talk about a little bit about sports. What sports do we have? None right now, but there is news. We got free agency news on football, the NFL. The biggest one of all, I think we can all agree, is Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay. Chuck, let me get your thoughts on that, man.
Tom Brady to Tampa Bay. They got the offense. I mean, with Jameis Winston, they were pretty good. If you wouldn't turn over the ball every second possession, but the offense is there. Mike Evans. You got Goodwin, is it or Godwin?
Godwin, yep.
I got one.
Godwin, okay. You got the tight end. He's pretty good too out of Alabama. I forget his name. Fast guy. Actually, two tight ends. They got Cameron Braid as well. OJ Howard is the
OJ
guy I'm
Howard,
thinking
yeah.
about.
From
So they
Alabama, yeah.
got a lot of weapons. Coach Arians is a mastermind in the offensive football game. You saw what he did in Arizona with Kurt Warner and all that. Um,
Yeah,
was was
it's
he there with?
definitely a fun team. I mean, he's got weapons now. I mean, that was always the big issue in New England, right? Never having any weapons, and basically doing it with nobody except Gronk and Randy Moss past his prime. I think we
So
agree on that, no?
yeah, I read somewhere that he hasn't had weapons like this since Randy Moss, since that Patriots team that went undefeated that got upsetted by the Giants.
The Giants, yep.
But how much do you think he's actually gonna make use of the talent that he has now at the wideout positions? Does he still have the arm? I'm not sure if
I think it
Brady.
was evident last year that he lost a lot of strength in his arm. Um, so he's never been a throw down the field kind of guy either. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not. I mean, he hasn't made his career off that. It's been a lot of short games. That's why Wes Welker was very good on that team. I mean, you want to get. Yeah, let's be honest, the little white guys, the little slot receiver guys, those are all been his best weapons, and he's had running backs that can catch the ball. So
True.
I mean, if he sticks to the game plan, like Chuck was saying, he's got a good coach. Coach is gonna probably go around what he does best. I think that team could do some damage. They're not
I'm
that bad on defense either.
agreed. Agreed. I'm actually curious. So I play a lot of fantasy football, and I had drafted this past season OJ Howard as one of my tight ends. Completely let me down. But I think now with Tom Brady, um,
I think he's
I
worth
think
drafting
this
again. Yeah.
OJ Howard might have a breakout season
I
with
could see, I
Brady
could
under
see.
center.
I would be more concerned with Mike Evans because,
Yes.
pointing to Chris's statement there, he's not really a downfield thrower, and Mike Evans is more of a possession receiver.
Yeah, go
So I
downfield,
mean,
throw it up, let him catch it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's who I would watch out more for. And I know they traded Deshaun Jackson last year. I would have loved to have seen Brady with Deshaun Jackson. That would have been kind of fun.
That would have been
You
fun.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of
Yeah.
trickery with those two, right? That would have been like a lot of different
Yeah.
stuff we've never seen with Brady. Maybe like a little bit of a jet sweep or something like that with a guy with those wheels.
Definitely, definitely. It's amazing how Deshaun Jackson, at this stage of his career, he still gets separation. I don't know how he does it, but he does.
Yeah, he does.
Genetics.
Yeah.
I think it's genetics at this point.
Also,
I would
another
agree.
a big age free agency. Well, sticking to Brady, 20 years with New England, man. Being down here in Miami, we know what those 20 years have been like.
All too
Chino,
well.
let us know, man. What do you think? You think
Uh,
that division is definitely up for grabs? What do you think, though? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
The Bills are up and coming, so I think the Bills and us are right then and there. You can't rule out the Patriots, though. You got Belichick, you got the owner, you got the system in place. They do need more weapons now because I think Tom Brady got him over a lot of that inefficiencies that they had on the offensive end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but if they get a solid quarterback, they add a couple little weapons here and there. I think they're ready to go again for another run. I mean, it's gonna be hard to top it.
What do you think, Andrew?
So I agree with the point Chuck made there. Tom Brady definitely masked a lot of the shortcomings of that Patriots team. But all of us who are Dolphin fans right now here on this call, we can finally breathe a sigh of relief that Brady's out of the freaking
Lights at the end of
division.
the tunnel, right? For once.
Yeah, for once. I think I honestly think that the Bills is coming. This is my hot take right here. The Bills are going to win the division this coming season. I think they have a strong team. They're solid all around. The coaching is the only thing I'm iffy on with McDermott, but I think they have a young quarterback who's only improving their offense. They're finally putting weapons around him, which is what he needed last season. And then the defense, it's solid all around too. So that's my hot take. I think the Bills win the AFC East this coming
And
season.
we were talking about the long ball. One guy who could fling it is that Allen guy from the Buffalo Bills. He can
Josh
throw it
Allen,
about 60, 70 yards.
Yeah, but he's very inaccurate.
Yeah,
but
he is.
but he is like Andrew's saying, he's a guy that's shown steady improvement throughout the year, throughout his first couple of seasons. They also added Stephon Diggs
Diggs,
from
that's true.
That's big.
Minnesota. That's a big weapon right there.
Yeah. He is a huge weapon. I would also say this: since Tom Brady went to the Bucks, and we're all Dolphin fans, now you go after a quarterback because now you have to strike when the iron is hot. So I wasn't too sold on maybe Tua or drafting a quarterback in this draft. But now the fact that Tom Brady is out of our division, I think now you have to take advantage of this situation and you have to draft a quarterback. I don't know if it's the first round, but you need to try to get the quarterback of the future sooner rather than later before the Patriots get steamed.
How do you
So-
guys feel about Tua?
I haven't seen too much of Tua's tape, right?
You haven't seen
I
him in Alabama the last couple years?
No, I have not. To be honest, I don't keep I don't keep close tabs on the college game
Mhm.
like I used to back in the day. But I haven't seen too much of the tape. I know there's some injury concern there. I know he got pretty banged up last year. What was the injury?
The hip.
Hip,
Yeah, right.
That's a big one. I mean, he's had his leg, his ankle,
ankle,
quad.
ankle.
Yeah, his hip
So
is the big one now.
like when I've heard about Tua, it's always been about, some type of injury that he sustained. So,
Definitely.
and with Miami and the history that the Dolphins have of never having a solid offensive line, I don't know if he's gonna hold up back there, to be honest. So I don't think the priority should be a quarterback this season. I think it should be, putting the pieces into place first, getting that offensive line set, and then just let Fitzmagic do his thing for another season. and then draft a
he's a fun
quarterback.
quarterback, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to win a Super Bowl with the guy, right? But I don't think we're we're ready to throw out a young quarterback right now onto the field with the
Well,
Miami Dolphins. Nah.
I'll throw this hot take out there for you right now. If Fitzpatrick was in the Patriots, I think that would be fun. I think we start changing our tune, and I think they're a competitor. They're a contender in the AFC.
I mean, you can't rule that out. What was he in Tampa Bay? He had was 3 or 4 straight 500-yard games, some ridiculous thing like that. And then obviously, you know the story. But he is a fun quarterback, man. Last year we sucked, but it was fun watching him play. You know that
I
dude
agree.
like to lose.
I agree. He's a slinger. He has a slinger mentality, right? But I don't know if Belichick would go for somebody like that. I'm not the same reason that he won't go for a Jameis Winston type.
I
Like
don't see
that's why
Jameis there. I think we kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday between us two. Let's bring it up on the podcast. For some reason, I don't know why he's gonna make that phone call to Andrew Luck. That's a young quarterback there that obviously he's had some injury problems, his arm strength is not the same, but you put him in that system, you know, who knows what could happen. I just have I don't know why, man. I have a feeling.
that yeah, if they do get Andrew Luck, if that ends up happening, if you're whatever crystal ball you're
For 10
using, if
years
that's
of
what it's telling
misery.
you, if that ends up happening, I'm just gonna be depressed for the next 10 years again, like I've been these past 20. Because I mean that's a match made in heaven, in my opinion. Hoping it doesn't happen.
It really does look like it would make sense on paper and on the field.
What do you think, though, Chuck? You think that's a possibility, though?
It's all up to Andrew Luck. I think he holds all the chips in this case. I think any team, besides the Packers or any team stable at quarterback would make that call. I think even the Dolphins would want to make that call to a certain extent. Andrew Luck was a first-round overall pick, for a reason, and he really didn't live up to the billing. He did have, a season and a half maybe where he looked like the real deal, but injuries kind of got in the way.
Injuries, yeah. Never had a really good offensive line to protect him. Took a lot of hits. I mean, that's gonna hurt unless you're like a Ben Roethlisberger kind of guy, Cam Newton body type kind of player.
Yeah, they're built like
you
tanks.
take hits like that, it's gonna affect you.
Now, is he closer? You brought up Big Ben. Is he closer to Big Ben or is he closer to Matthew Stafford?
As far as what, talent or size?
Just overall, what he's put on the field right now, his work.
Big Ben in his prime, or Big Ben right now?
No, I would want to say Big Ben in his prime. Is he closer to Big Ben in his prime, or is he closer to Matthew Stafford?
I think he's closer to Big Ben in his
Big
prime.
Ben. Yeah, I think he's closer to Big Ben.
All right, because that was
Stafford had Megatron for a few years. They had some stars in that team. They just never. He's not a bad quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but he's never been able to get over the hump.
At this stage, I think he's an average quarterback. And I would say Philip Rivers, as much as I love watching Philip Rivers, I think he's an average quarterback.
That's another guy who went to Indy. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'll pair him up with T.Y. Hilton. That he's had a couple of injuries in the last couple of seasons as well, but that's a threat right there. Local guy, FIU. That he's probably the biggest star coming out of FIU ever.
You got actually. I'm looking here at the free agency thing. DJ Swearinger, I believe he went to FIU as well, and he's going back to the Saints on a 1-year deal.
Yep.
So FIU, and actually no, I'm mistaken. That safety, it's another safety, Jonathan Seyfried. He went to FIU. That's who the other safety is from FIU, the other big name. But T.Y. Hilton definitely is the biggest star out of Florida International University, or local school.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what Rivers does. Obviously, towards the tail end of his career, I believe it was a 1-year contract, or may I be mistaken, or 2 years. Definitely going to be interesting to see what he does there. Drew Brees re-signs with the Saints. I mean, that's a given.
He's a lifer.
Teddy Bridgewater signed with who was it?
He did sign somewhere else?
He signed a 3-year, $60 million contract. I'm trying to think.
He's a starter then
with the Panthers, no?
Carolina. There you go. That's right.
Yeah,
Because
it was
Carolina's
the
trying
Panthers.
to get out. Obviously, get rid of Cam Newton. Cam Newton is another name that I can possibly see going to New England. Big guy, talented, could run, could throw the ball. That might be interesting there.
I don't know why people are so down on Newton so fast. He won the MVP. It seems like yesterday. I know it's been 3 years or
Yeah,
4
Super
seasons.
Bowl, or they had that run. Yeah.
Had that run. I think people are giving up on him too fast, or maybe there's intel that the public doesn't know. His
It's an
extent of his
injury.
injuries. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe his injuries
That's
are.
another dude
are
that's a big dude that takes the hits, but he's just a tough SOB. I would like him on my team.
He'll clap in your face too once he breaks a tackle.
Yeah.
He'll give it back
He'll let
to
you
you.
know.
So.
He'll let you know.
I remember when the Dolphins played him on a Thursday night or something like that, and he was just running all over us on ESPN, and he was just like joking.
Every Dolphin national
Nationalized
televised game
TV,
is an embarrassment for us.
Always, never fails.
You mentioned
Never
Jameis
fails.
Winston as well, Chuck. That's another free agent out there. Guy puts up numbers. He had a hell of a season, minus the 30 interceptions. 30-30, first 30-30 guy, in the NFL. He led the league with total yards as well, passing. Interesting season from him. That's a guy that seems like he puts up the numbers. He obviously gets the touchdowns, but he makes bad mistakes. That's another guy who's interesting. Where is he going to end up?
I kind of Tampa Bay was in a bad situation these past seasons. I mean, I think Bruce Arians is a good coach. So I was looking for Jameis Winston, and everybody was looking for him to pick it up this season. And the fact that he didn't turn that corner, I kind of have given up on Jameis Winston. Mariota is another quarterback that came out of the same draft class.
I believe he signed with the I know he signed a deal as well as a backup, though. Obviously, now he's a backup with the Raiders. I believe he went to Oakland. Actually, he might start there because Carr's a free agent, if I'm not mistaken, or he's got 1 year left on his contract. I got to take a look at that. But that's another interesting team.
Honestly, the Dolphins are a lost team, but I think the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, take that title because I don't know what the hell Gruden is doing over there. I don't know who he's signing, who he's not signing. I have no clue.
That's a team though that, believe it or not, as bad as they are, they're a couple players away, and they're starting with the quarterback. And that's a team that I can see another Cam Newton going to as well. A new stadium, you need a splash, you need a big name. We'll see. There's still a lot of moves to be made. We also have the biggest free agents right now possibly available is Jadeveon Clowney, 27 years old, still in his prime. Be interesting where he goes.
I'll tell you something. Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
I was gonna say, like, what's Jadeveon's deal? Like, why is he still out there? He's young.
If you ask me, and I watched him in college some when he played for South Carolina, I believe it was.
Yeah,
Carolina. He was a beast. He was a monster.
Oh no, for sure.
Absolute surefire Pro Bowler. You couldn't miss on this guy. He hasn't lived up to the billing, to be honest with you. He's a solid player. He's an above average defensive end, possible Pro Bowler. He's right there borderline, but he hasn't. He's not a Reggie White. He's not J.J. Watt. He's not on that caliber, or he hasn't established himself yet. In that status. So I think that's why people have some doubts on him. I don't think they want to pay him that money. So
there's a report that came out, I believe it was yesterday or Friday, that I'm looking at it right now. That Seattle's offering him $18.5 million a year. That's
what team is that?
Seattle, because he played in Seattle last year, 1 year. Didn't have that great of a season. 21 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 interception. Like I said, South Carolina, 6'5", 255, big guy, fast, speed. It could be that he could be a locker room kind of guy that you don't want in your locker room. Same thing with Ndamukong Suh, even though he's towards the end of his career, 33 years old. It's another guy that he's a monster, but he seems like he plays for himself. He's not a team player.
Yeah, he's not a team player.
Those are players that had so much hype coming in, rightfully so, because they were monsters in college. They were unblockable. but they haven't lived up to the billing. You know, they haven't lived up to what they were supposed to be, and you know, it's kind of sad. You know, and they got paid, they got their money, they did their time in the league, and you know, we'll say bye to them, and that's it. They won't be remembered as much. So.
Yeah. Going back to the Dolphins, just taking a look at obviously Joe Burrow's going to go number one. I mean, if unless somebody offers,
And let me tell you, I'm sold on that guy. And I think we had a conversation off the air that you know he looks like the real deal.
he's legit.
He
Yeah.
really does. If I'm the Dolphins and I'm sitting on this gold mine of picks, which I am, I throw a little bit something at Cincinnati and see if they take it, because that guy looks like he is a surefire Pro Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback.
You give up all your first round picks this year for him?
What do we have? 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year, maybe one next year. It's a lot.
I would.
You're gonna have to. You're definitely gonna have to, because
That's the
Cincinnati,
right?
Cincinnati's also looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, the
So-
Red Rifle has been he's like a Ryan Tannehill, if you ask me. A guy that puts up numbers. He's a decent player, but he's not going to take you to the promised land unless you have a great team around him. He's never had that great team. He's had a great talent. AJ Green has been one of the guys that he's had.
He's had Tyler Boyd. He's had Eifert, the tight end.
Mhm.
He's had John Ross, the speedster out of Washington, which they drafted not too long ago.
He's had the talent. He just hasn't been able to take him anywhere. So it's time to move on from that guy. That's another guy that's interesting that he might end up on a team. I don't see him possibly being a starter, though.
One thing we've learned in the NFL, talent gets you far, and in sports in general, talent is what gets you where you're at. But look at the Browns. All the talent in the world. We got Mayfield, we got Landry, we got Beckham, we got, everybody. What else does that team want that they don't have? And sometimes it's just coaching, it's the system, it's the chemistry. Talent is not
Baker's not the real deal, man. He's a Johnny Manziel, a little bit better than Johnny Manziel. A little bit more success in the NFL than Johnny Manziel will ever have. My opinion, of course. But they have all the talent in the world, like you said, on that team. And they just they stunk it up again,
I actually like Baker. I really do like Baker.
See a future in him?
I really do. I honestly do. I think this past season it was mostly on the coaching staff. They weren't using the offense, the weapons they had to their full potential. I think Freddie Kitchens was in over his head.
Yeah, they got rid of him already.
So I think this change now in system, that because that always comes with a head coaching change, right? It's a revamp of the entire system, of the personnel and all that. So I think the Browns are gonna be one of the more improved teams this season, and I would not be surprised to see him fighting for a wild card.
And you could
spot,
just
to
see
possibly
him.
sneaking in.
Yeah.
You could just see Mayfield just forcing the ball to Odell Beckham. He was just forcing it to Odell every single down.
Yeah.
He didn't care the coverage, and it was just like, "What are you doing?" Kind of thing. And
Yeah, because Odell's going to start talking if he's not getting the ball thrown his way. We all know. We saw it with a Hall of Fame quarterback in New York. Even though Eli was towards the end of his career, he could still get him the ball. But if he doesn't get the ball every possession, he's going to bitch and cry. Diva wide receiver. I mean,
but
if you have that talent, that's the type of person you're going to be. But I don't know, man. You know what? For the sake of them, for the sake of the NFL, it would be fun to see them be good. So I hope you're right, Andrew. But I don't see that. I don't think Baker has that in him. But we'll see. It's a new season. If there's a season this year, we'll see. We'll see what that team brings. I believe that whole offense is coming back. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
So I just wanted to point out that Beckham, after the season was over, he came out and said that he was banged up for the majority of the season. So that's why his numbers.
Something in his foot, right?
Yeah, he was pretty banged up. He played through it, right? So I think that speaks to his toughness.
He is tough. He definitely is tough. He is tough. He gets the best corners on him. He gets double coverage every time, and he still finds a way to get separation. He's one of the fastest guys in the NFL. He's one of the better route runners in the NFL at that position, obviously. But yeah, no, he's definitely tough. But he's a diva. He cries.
Oh
But
no,
Now,
that's what you
now
pay for a guy like that.
he's earned for his reputation. Like he's earned his reputation. He's a prima donna in a way. Now I don't know if deservingly or not, the media portrays him as being this crybaby, this he wants it his way or no way. He played with his
The watch.
watch.
Yeah.
It's like he does these things where you're like, you can't give the guy the benefit of the doubt.
No.
It's just he's earned that.
Talent is
reputation.
there. He makes some incredible catches. No doubt about that. One of the best hands we've ever seen. But
No, yeah.
Shut your mouth and just catch the football and let your talent and stats speak for themselves, in my opinion.
I think we haven't been around as long as the NFL, but I think the best catch in NFL history has to be his catch.
His 3-finger catch.
Yeah,
that's
that has to be probably the best catch in NFL history. So
that's going to be in the archives for
a long time.
For a while. So
let's talk about.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch on. I was looking here, scrolling through here. Quarterback that's retired, and we got to pay him farewell is Joe Flacco. He was waived by the Broncos, and I don't see him getting another job anywhere else.
Yeah, he got his payday after that Super Bowl. He was definitely on the top of his game then. Yeah. Guy with a huge arm. Delaware, if I'm not mistaken, that's where he came out of. Guy that could run, big guy. Wasn't the best quarterback in the NFL, but he had talent, and he took a team to the Super Bowl, and they won. So,
do you see the Patriots giving him a look before they let him off into quarterback purgatory?
I think Belichick is a guy that thinks about the future, and Flacco's a one and done. He don't have much left in him. So, I don't know if you guys read what came out recently, the whole issue with the Patriots. He offered Tom Brady to the San Francisco 49ers for a ridiculous amount. No. Belichick originally offered Tom Brady to the 49ers. That's where this spiff started happening. That was about 2.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that came out, and that's kind of when you saw the tension there, even though they ended up winning a Super Bowl or two within that time frame. But you can already tell that things were on rocky waters with them. Then they eventually ended up trading Garoppolo. But I think, Belichick is a guy who's always thinking about, hey, I don't want to win now. I want to win 10 years, 20 years in a row, So Flacco is towards the end of his career, and I don't see that becoming an option for him. I may be wrong, though. Maybe you get Flacco, you draft somebody in the draft, and you just mold them.
Or here's a hot take from me. You wait on Dak Prescott. He got the tag right now. Dak Prescott, is probably mad that he didn't get a long-term contract with the Cowboys. Maybe Belichick is waiting on Prescott to become available and jump on that.
Wow.
Did he finally sign did they franchise him finally?
Yep.
Yeah, he got tagged. The Patriots, though, they signed Brian Hoyer as a stopgap. So I really don't know what direction they want to go in. I mean, do you think they take a flyer on a late round QB again, kind of like what they did with Brady? Or
I mean, if you cannot, it's like Bill Belichick is like Pat Riley in the NFL. You don't question any move he makes. The guy knows every move he makes seems to work.
Their best trait is they know exactly what they're looking for.
Absolutely.
They know exactly the arm strength. They know what routes they run, the system they're looking for, and they know what to exploit. So anything's on the table. I like Dak there in the Patriots. I think Dak Prescott and the Patriots.
I don't think Dak gets enough respect. I'm not saying he's great, but he's not bad.
No. Obviously, you put him in a good system. He had a great year. He had a great season.
He had a great offensive line as well. But still, I mean, he seems like he's. I don't want to say elite yet, but he seems like he's a good quarterback in this league, and he could possibly take you somewhere. Like you said, put the right pieces around them. Having Ezekiel Elliott as your horse as well is it's good. going back to the draft, Joe Burrow, obviously, we said number 1 pick. Tua. Now that I don't know, I don't think he's going to be available at 5. The other,
You're talking about Tua?
yeah, I don't think he's going to be available at 5. I think either one of these teams ahead of us will take him, or somebody will try to jump over us to try to get him. Because when he was in college, when he was healthy, he was a hell of a quarterback. I believe, Chuck, you could speak on this. Didn't you go to Orange Bowl game and watch him play against Oklahoma?
He is a great player, but you and I spoke about this off the air. He had the best talent in Alabama.
Of course.
Now those wide receivers are all grade A, surefire shots in the NFL. Those are top tier wide receivers. You got Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy now, and by the way, they're all Miami guys. They're all Carol City guys. So they get the separation. All you got to do is put it in the breadbasket, and you got a touchdown. So I mean, a lot of his passes were not difficult so per se. He can make every pass look like, but do I think he's 100% the guy? I'm not prepared to say that right now.
You wouldn't take him at 5 if he's there.
Not with the injury concerns. No.
Right. That's my biggest problem too.
If he didn't have those injury concerns, I think that he's definitely valid for a top 10 pick. But
if he's not injured, we're talking about him and Burrow being as the 2 best quarterbacks.
Yeah.
No question asked, no concerns, because he was the best quarterback in college until he got hurt, and then Joe Burrow just broke the NFL, or he broke college and put up ridiculous numbers. Gino, what do you think? Would you take Tua at 5?
If he was there, which I think he will be.
You think he will be?
Yeah, because the teams in front of us, they're already outside of Cincinnati, right? Who they'll probably go Burrow, but the Redskins, who pick number 2, they have Haskins.
Yeah, but you know what? The Haskins was. I'm sorry to cut you off, Gino. Haskins was a pick from the owner last year. He wanted that guy, and he's, in my opinion, he's not that good. But who knows? They got a new coach there now. They can go a different direction.
I think they'll kick the tires on Haskins again. Because you can't. The guy has talent.
You can't, yeah.
The guy has talent, right? I don't know. I'm not sold on him 100% either, but he has talent. So you have to see what the new coaching staff will be able to do with the guy. If nothing pans out, then whatever. You draft another quarterback, or you draft a quarterback late, right? Just to kind of push him a little bit, just to compete out there. But I think it's too early to call it quits. And then you have the Lions afterwards. They have Stafford. Then you have Daniel Jones with the Giants.
Daniel Jones, yeah.
So that's why I think
I can see the Chargers though trying to move up with possibly Detroit or the Giants. But then again, you got Chase Young as the beast, probably the best talented player coming out of from Ohio State. Who's going to take him?
I don't think he's going to fall to us.
No. If he does, you take that
for sure. Guy. Yeah. If he falls to us, for sure you take the guy. But going back to the Tua pick, if I'd take him, I'd probably listen in on some of the offers from some of these other quarterback needy teams.
And try to get more picks?
To get more picks, yes. Because I still think we need to – this past season, the Dolphins, they went all in free agency, right? But you still need to draft talent. So I think we need to conserve those picks, build out the offensive line, because that's always been an issue with the freaking Miami Dolphins, a crap offensive line. Focus on that, then get a quarterback.
Historically, I don't think there's a worse drafting, and that's not even a word, but a worse drafting team than the Dolphins. What is the last draft pick that we've hit on 100%? I don't remember.
Overall? Or like
anybody who, not even first pick, second, third round. Which is the last guy that we really hit on and said, wow, honestly, we really did a good.
Honestly, I could think of 2 guys. one of them that's still with us, that he's towards the end of his career. Rashad Jones,
Yeah.
safety out of
Oh.
Georgia.
And what pick was he? What
I
pick?
believe it was 19 or 20.
Okay, in the first round. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
and the other guy I could think of that he's no longer with us, and he stayed with us for a little bit, was Mike Pouncey.
Yeah, I would say that.
But they're
Think so?
not with the team anymore. One guy is towards the end of his career. The other guy's not with us anymore. Obviously, he's the same Marino, right? But a lot of people.
Ted Gibbs Jr. was a stud in the Saints.
Not with
it
us,
took him
though.
12 years to figure it
I
out.
feel bad for him though, because it's not his fault we took him so high.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
And he was a solid player. We took him too high. It's not his fault.
In the NFL, the football is a team sport. It's all about the system and how they use you. That really is what it all depends on what situation you're placed in. You can be a baller and not, never show those skills because you got chosen by the Cincinnati Bengals. So hopefully for Jake Burrow, his skill level is so high that, it's not going to go to waste in Cincinnati. He's not going to be the next Andy Dalton. So hopefully for him, I don't think he's that. I think he is the real deal, but, we're going to find out.
Just to go back on the picks, the question you have brought up about the Dolphin picks. So two of them came to mind. Xavier Howard, right?
Yeah,
Would you say?
Yeah, we just
Right. I think that's a legit pick. That
Well,
Dolphins made.
he was a first rounder.
I think he was an early second.
Yeah, I think he was an early second, and obviously he's not with us anymore. Minka Fitzpatrick, right? But that guy looks like a stud, right? Even though he's not with the team anymore. But Devontae Parker, I think he was a first rounder.
He was 11. I think
This past season, if he can build on that, I think that he'll make that list of picks in the first round that the Dolphins made that panned out. So if he builds on that, I definitely see him on that list.
Devontae Parker, I think he'll find his way. And the other wideout, I forget his name. Is it Williams?
Preston.
Or Preston?
Williams. Yeah.
That guy's a stud. I don't know that guy.
He was undrafted, right? He was
undrafted.
Squad.
Yeah, that guy I like. Yeah,
he looks like a steal right now.
Howard was 38th overall, so yeah, early second round.
Yeah.
But if you really think,
what happens.
I was trying to find that list, and I'm not so good at browsing like that. But there's not really that many good first round quarterbacks that have come out of the last 5 drafts, I would say.
No,
yeah.
Typically a number 1 overall pick or high first round pick, a quarterback doesn't pan out. Typically,
no, it doesn't.
Because the team is so bad. Like you said, there's no need. There's no system. There's no offensive line. There's no players. So these guys, Josh Rosen, he's a guy that came in the league with high expectations. Arizona got rid of him after 1 year. Miami gave him like 3 passes and said, "Okay, you're done." And it's like, that's a guy that I feel bad for.
Arizona broke him, I think. Arizona broke the poor guy because they put him in a bad situation. They threw him to the wolves.
That's another guy that I could see Belichick trying to get on his team. I wouldn't trade him to him if I'm the Dolphins, but that's a guy that he turns around. He's the next Tom Brady.
The only quarterback, and we've spoken about this off air, the only quarterback that I can see that is worthy of a first round overall pick in the next upcoming draft is maybe Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson.
Clemson,
yeah,
that's true. But just like every year, there's always a quarterback that's gonna jump out, and he's gonna start climbing up the ladder, up the ranks. So
who's like Justin Herbert though from Oregon? 6'6".
He's got the stats. He's got the measurables. Is that what they call them? The intangibles.
The intangibles, yeah.
He walks into a room and you're like, wow, this is it. This is the quarterback. This is the prototypical quarterback. He played in Oregon.
Well.
Oregon. Another thing I like to look about, and I'm a big college football fan, is I like to see what program transitions well to the NFL. Not being biased here, but Miami Hurricanes transitioned very well to the NFL.
Not at the quarterback position, but yeah, other positions, absolutely.
Other positions, yeah. Oregon has never really transitioned to the NFL. Look at Mariota. Look at the guy we drafted. Who was the
The
defensive
running
end?
back.
No, the
Deion
defensive.
Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Deion Jordan, yeah.
Oregon guy. He was a stud. He was the man. Running backs. All the little running backs that can run a million miles an hour.
Chuck,
None of them.
that is a great point. A lot of people don't think about that. Don't see that. You're absolutely right about that. I cannot think of one Oregon player that's out of the top of my mind. I'm sure if I Google it, I can. But that's a great point by you, man.
Yeah, I think there's a linebacker that's actually pretty good, but I don't know his name. I forgot his name.
You're right about that. That's definitely something to think about. They're also talking about Jordan Love from Utah State. I honestly haven't seen much of his tape, so I really can't speak on him. So you just got to trust these guys, even though we can't, because obviously they've screwed up for so many years,
If you're a general manager, you do the Nick Saban. You draft everybody from the SEC. You draft all the players you played against, Auburn, Alabama, and you do that thing. To a certain extent, look at what Pat Riley's doing. Pat Riley's drafting all these Kentucky players.
Kentucky, yeah.
From a top school or Kentucky, Duke. You look at programs that are good and translate to the professional level, and you target that. Because some schools don't. It's just a system. So.
Absolutely right. You brought up Pat Riley. Why don't we shift over to the NBA?
75 years old. I can't believe it. He's 3/4 of a century old.
And he's still
making moves. The Godfather.
Still the man.
Yeah, freaking guy.
What do we think about? Obviously, the NBA season is at a hold right now. I read reports saying that they might come back in June with no fans in the stands, just to try to get some basketball in it. What do you think? I'll go with you, Chuck, first, and then we'll get you on this. What do you think about the Heat's run so far this season? I think we thought they were going to be a decent team. I don't think we thought they were going to be so good. With that being said, there's a lot of times they blow huge leads, normally around the third quarter, fourth quarter. But with that being said, what were your expectations for the Heat coming into the season, and what were your expectations now, seeing the end result, or as far as we've gotten so far?
Well, it's all on one player's shoulders. For me, it's Bam Adebayo. We go as far as Bam takes us. The fact that Bam has done such a big leap this season speaks volumes to development, to his will to get better, and the fact that he's made such a big jump. Bam Adebayo is the reason we are where we're at. Yeah, Jimmy Butler is our star. He's our headliner. Other rookies have stepped up, but the fact that Bam Adebayo has been able to hold the 4 and 5 position and done a little bit of everything. The guy
brings the ball up. He brings the ball up as well.
He's a jackknife. He does everything. He's reliable. You know what you're going to get out of him. And I don't know. I think we're a second round exit playoff team. I don't think
build as we are right now.
Yeah, I think if the season were to go on, if we were still watching basketball, considering the circumstances, I think we would have made a second round exit. I think we would have won in the first round, whoever it was, and I think Milwaukee would have beat us. I think it would have been a tough series, 6 or 7 game series. I want to think 7 games, but nice. 5 or 6 games, and I think it would have been a wrap, but it would have been a successful season. It's been a hell of a run, and it's been fun to watch. It's
been fun, and these guys seem like they enjoy playing with each other. I think Goran's done a hell of a job coming off the bench as a 6th man, and I think he's accepted that role. Gino, question to you. Kind of what I asked Chuck, but I also want to add to the question, speaking about Goran Dragic. Would you offer him a nice little contract next year based off his role, what he's done this year, and given his age? What would you say to that?
So what's been the history with the Miami team under the helm of Pat Riley? Have they treated their vets pretty well, you would say?
Everyone except Dwayne Wade, yeah.
Because I think, the guy, the expectation going into the season was, we have a young team, relatively young team. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what pieces fit. I don't think anybody saw this coming into the season. The way the team has performed so far. Am I mistaken in assuming that?
No,
I don't
I mean
think any of
I
us.
think we thought we were going to be better than last year, just be safe. But I don't
Yeah.
think we thought we were going to be this good.
So I think you can attribute a lot of that to the vets that are on the team, right? They take the young guys under their wing. There's something to be said about having that veteran presence in the locker room, right? Just like in any other sport, you have somebody to teach them the ropes. So I think you take care of Goran. I think you take care of him, probably for another couple years,
Give
and
him his last big contract with Miami.
yeah,
Let him.
and then
Let him.
just
Yeah.
let him set off into the sunset. But yeah, I mean that's my opinion. I think you take care of him. He's even if he's not getting, the minutes that would merit the amount of money he'd be getting paid. I think he's one of those player coach type,
And he's going to
right?
finish the game at the end of the game. He's going to be in there.
He's
So
yeah.
Chuck, what do you think? Because I saw you put a face. I don't know. Do you like Goran?
I do, but not for big money. I think you got to keep that money and you got to save that money for younger players. Unfortunately, the NBA is a younger players league. I think what you do is you offer him a little bit above the mid-level exception, whatever that is, next season, and hopefully he bites. If not, let him see what's out there in the market and use that as leverage and try to bring him back. I think Goran, I've never been a huge fan of Goran, but I think this season has changed my perspective on him. But I do not offer him big money. We got into the business of offering Hassan Whiteside big money, different types of players big money, and it didn't work out for us. Dion Waiters, James Johnson, players that were hit or miss. And Goran Dragic is a little bit more stable player, but I think in this stage of his career, we let him find out what's out there for him, and if he walks, he walks. If he wants to be a part of our Miami Heat team, then we pay him. But the market suggests, but not big money. Definitely not. We got a lot of young players. We hold on to Kendrick Nunn. We hold on to Duncan Robinson. We hold on to Tyler Hero. Cheap contracts. Potential is all there. And you ride with that and see what happens.
Duncan's been a hell of a surprise, hell of a blessing from up above, man. That guy shoots lights out. It's been fun to see this guy. Andrew, what are your thoughts on our 3-point shooting?
it's pretty solid, right? Especially with what Duncan Robinson's been able to provide. I don't think anybody expected that, right? The the
Not this good, at
developmental
least. No.
no, the developmental coaches have been definitely putting in some time with these young guys. I mean, Bam, right? He came out of nowhere. Well, except for those who have been keeping a close eye on him, but
He's getting a
he,
lot of. He's getting a lot of. His name is being tossed around a lot in the NBA. Like as far as players recognizing how good he is.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember watching the summer league games with him on those teams, and I'm like, this guy looks pretty solid.
Yeah, you
Why
could
why
see it.
isn't
Yeah.
why isn't he being relegated up, to with the starters on and playing on game days? But it's it speaks to the coaches, the jobs they've been doing, the time they've put in. So I think right now we're in a good spot. It could be better, but 3-point shooting wise, the team's in a good spot.
I think defensively, it's been disappointing, especially coming out of halftime. We can agree on that. Just seems like they don't make the adjustments. They seems like they just keep going on that zone defense that works most of the time, but when teams adjust, it seems like they don't make the adjustments. And I've been a fan of Spoelstra. I've been a supporter of Spoelstra. What he's done, it hasn't been easy. He had 3 superstars on the team, 3 huge egos, and he was able to take that team to the finals 4 years in a row and make it work. I don't think he gets enough respect, even locally,
Mm.
But there's got to be something said to the fact that I don't know if he doesn't make the adjustments or the guys just put it on cruise control when they're up so much. Chuck, what do you think about that? You think that's coaching? You think that's a little bit of both? What's your
It's
thoughts on
easy.
that?
It's Heat culture. We live by it and we die by it. Pat Riley is a stubborn MF. Spoelstra's cut from the same cloth.
Yep.
We're all stubborn. We all think that we can win, the way we play. And that's the way we've been taught. So I just think it's part of being stubborn. I think, you stick to what you know and you do what you know and, you ride or die with that. So I think that's the problem with adjustments. I think he's so firm on what works. Pat Riley has his ear, definitely. He tells them, hey, look, this is what we're going to do, this and that. And Pat Riley doesn't like the zone defense. He hates the zone defense. They've been saying that he wants to play man-to-man all the time, that he doesn't understand why we go to so much zone. So, I just think we're just stubborn. We're just stubborn as an organization. We're cocky, we're arrogant, but that's what makes the Miami Heat, That's what makes it.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating, man, as a fan watching. You're up 20-something points. You go up, you go get a drink, you go outside for a second, you come back, you're like, why are we down by 4, It's it's frustrating. But, yeah, it's definitely, like you said, you live and die with how they play. But that being said as well, Gino, would you agree that when this team is popping on defense, they're the best defensive team or one of the best defensive teams out there when they're clicking?
Hands down. And that's mostly due to the fact that we have these youngins full of energy that can leave all that out on the court. And like you said, when they're clicking. And defensively, they just, they smother the opposing offense, and those turnovers turn into points, and those points, just keep climbing up, and it turns into a blowout. But they're still a young team, so sometimes when they go up by a lot, I see that they kind of let the foot off the gas a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
And I think that's just still a team that's learning how to it's learning how to close out games, right? It's a young team, it's a young core. So I don't blame them for that. It's just gonna take a little bit of time, right? But yeah, I mean, defensively, when everything's clicking, yeah, hands down, they're a scary team.
It also helps that Bam could guard 1 through 5. I mean, he could literally guard anybody on the court and stick with them. That's impressive.
I'll take the Heat's future and their overview on, long term, 27 teams. So there's 5 teams that I think are in a better position than us right now. That would be the Lakers.
Okay, but better positions currently or better position in the future?
In the next 3 seasons.
Okay.
Seasons. So I would say the Lakers, the Clippers. I would say the Nets with Kevin Durant and a healthy Kyrie Irving.
Remember that he hasn't played this year.
Right. And I would say Milwaukee just because right now they got the Greek Freak. Besides that,
who knows what's going to happen with him, right? It's kind of, a lot of people are saying, Chuck, that it's, if they don't win or at least make the finals this year, he's pretty much walking. But yes, absolutely, having him on the team right now, being the best team in the East, best record in the league, absolutely their future's looking bright. But who knows what can happen.
But you know what, Giannis, and he's an international superstar because he's from Greece.
Yep.
He doesn't strike me as the type of superstar that would just walk if it doesn't work out. I know the media is trying to play that narrative, and but he's the one that turned down LeBron James for not wanting to work out with him. That's not a United States superstar that does that.
Yeah, he's built different, right?
Yeah, so I don't buy into that narrative. It'd be great because one of his landing spots is Miami, but we'll see. He doesn't strike me as that type. I think he's a very humble kid, good character, and he's a Greek freak for a reason. So,
what do you think? You mentioned Brooklyn. Gino, what do you think Brooklyn's going to look like with KD and Kyrie? It seems like there's a little bit of schism there with the coach. Didn't they fire him recently before this? Yeah. It seems like Kyrie, everywhere he's gone, there's been a little issues with teammates and locker room kind of guy. You think Durant's adding to that, Gino, or you think Durant's going to put him under his wing? That, hey, listen, let's do it this way. What do you think, man?
So Durant's the type of player that I think is going to get the most out of everybody on that team. I think he's going to rally the troops, so to speak, right? When he steps onto that court. He's always struck me as a guy. I know he can come off as, soft spoken and, doesn't show too much emotion unless, when he's hitting those daggers, to end the game. But I think he's really one of those people, behind the scenes, the type of player that, he can get the best out of the players around him. And he's gonna definitely improve that Nets team when he comes back. So that's my opinion.
You think him and
I
Kyrie will work out, Chuck? You think that'd be a good tandem right there?
I'm not a big fan of either one, but here's why it's going to work out. They have too much writing on the line for it not to work out. So Kyrie has a bad reputation from Boston. Everyone's saying that he's not a team player, he's not a winner. So he has that writing on his coattails. And then you got Kevin Durant, who just, everybody was on him because he went to Golden State and he got the easy way out. He won a championship. So I think they both have something really big to prove in the league. Obviously, they both are very, very talented players. And that's why I think it's going to work out because they have no choice. They have to make this work because if not, their history is going to be, okay, KD went and won off Steph Curry. And Kyrie won because of LeBron James when he went to Boston, and then when he went to the Nets, look what he
He
did.
didn't win, yeah.
So that's what I think.
Yeah, and also they played different positions. Obviously, Kyrie is a point guard. That was kind of when the Big Three era started. Kind of like the focal point was Wade and LeBron are very similar players. So I don't know if you remember, man. What was it? 10 and 11, 9 and 11, something like that was our record the first year. Everybody was talking, blow it up. It's not going to work.
Bumpgate.
Yeah, the bump gate. Then obviously we know what happened that season. They put it together. They went to the finals. LeBron forgot how to play basketball. Beretta played great defense on him. Whatever you want to say. But then you got a superstar, a guy that built this team, built this city. Dwayne Wade saying, "Hey, this is your team, LeBron. We're gonna win because of you." Take a step back, and writing was on the wall. It's gonna be interesting to see if Kyrie and Durant work. I like your take on what you said, Chuck, but is Kyrie gonna be able to share the load with Durant and vice versa? I think Durant will because obviously he came from Golden State, where there was two monsters on there, superstars, and he was kind of the third guy if you think about it, So we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. Another team that's interesting, which a lot of people have possibly winning the championship, was the Clippers. What were your thoughts on them so far this season? Like seeing these guys play?
You can go on.
So I haven't really watched too much of the Clippers this season. I've only really been keeping track of I've only got a pulse on the Miami Heat team. The NBA side of things this season, I haven't been keeping track of too much, so I can't really speak to what I think about the Clippers in this case. So I'll defer to you, Chuck.
Clippers, top down, from top to bottom, probably the most complete team in basketball. Their starting lineup, if you put it on paper, you put it on the court, it looks just as good as anybody in the league, if not better. We definitely seemed like we were heading down a all LA Western Conference finals, and yeah, I think the fact that this coronavirus thing took the NBA season from us, took a championship away from either LeBron or from Kawhi. I don't see it any way else playing out. One of those two is getting an NBA championship this year, and it looks like, unfortunately, we're not going to see either one get anything.
You think the way it was going, the championship was coming out of the West this year?
Yeah, out of LA. Yeah.
LA.
What happened to the 76ers? Coming to start off the season, they were one of those hot teams, but what happened to them? I haven't heard much.
Well, there seems like there's beef with Simmons and Embiid, right, Chuck? Correct me if I'm wrong. Embiid seems like they take jabs through the media at each other. What do you think, Chuck?
Their style of play, something is not working there. And I think Ben Simmons would be a much better player on another team that where he can just, have more spacing. Not that he needs it because he can't shoot, but, more spacing so he can make his passes and I guess work the flow of the game. But definitely there's something there between Embiid and Simmons that we don't know to the public ear. We don't know what's going on there.
You will take Simmons over Embiid right now, and if you're starting a team right now, you need to pick one of the two guys. Who would you take?
I would pick Simmons.
What about you, Chino?
Yeah, Simmons too. I'd take Simmons.
Yeah, it's tough because Embiid is a stud. He is one of the best at his position. Not many like him in his position anymore. We're kind of seeing the NBA shift to the hybrid 5-4, power forward center kind of position. Embiid's probably one of the last guys aside from Whiteside as far as a traditional center. But even that being said, he can shoot the three very good. Simmons' biggest issue is obviously shooting the three, but he's 6'7", 6'8". Why the hell do you need to shoot a three? Just
He
drive
might even be
time. Use that body, And
he might be even 6'10".
I think you're right. Why do you need him to shoot threes? You can teach that. You can help a guy adjust his shot. Look at Lonzo Ball. He's shooting the ball a lot better. Just use your body, man. Take it in, and he passes the ball well. I think I'll have to agree with you guys. I think I'll probably take Simmons as well.
The only reason I would take Simmons is he hasn't shown any injuries, knock on wood. Embiid has shown, a little bit of a past injury history.
Yeah.
The big man is kind of fading out, even though Embiid is the best in the game as being a big man. And, Simmons is a unique player as well. At 6'10", can pass, can do everything but shoot. So you got to figure that you can get a shooting coach in there in the gym with him and at least, help him shoot what he needs to shoot in order to be effective. So that's why I would go with Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Chino, let's shift over to a fun team that got a player back midseason. And they seem like they're going to be fun to watch and might make some noise next season, and that's the Pelicans. What are your thoughts on Zion, man? This guy, he's a big dude, but he is athletic as hell, strong, plays with a lot of energy. A lot of people think, though, that weight is going to cause some issues going forward.
Andrew's stressing on this question.
I see.
No. I just thought of I saw this meme on Reddit the other day. Do you guys have you guys ever watched or heard of the movie How to Train Your Dragon?
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it, yeah.
There's a black dragon called Toothless. You put a picture of the dragon and Zion next to each other, they look exactly alike, dude.
And
no lie.
That has to.
What's that?
What's the dragon's name? Toothless Dragon?
Toothless. Just put Toothless, How to Train Your Dragon. I just thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. I haven't seen his team play live, right?
I can see it.
I've just seen the highlights, and how the heck are you that athletic with that frame? Like with that build? Like that's the only thing I can say. Like it pops out at you, right? Like how crazy athletic the guy is. But outside of that, yeah, I don't really have anything else to contribute to the conversation. So
I vote for Toothless the Dragon and Zion to be our thumbnail for this video. What he posted on whatever platform we post this on. But
we'll make sure we do that.
Zion, you know what? And here's a little hot take. I was one of the only people that obviously Zion is box office, but I would have taken John Morant first over Zion.
He's a star.
If I would have done the draft this, tomorrow or before it happened, whatever, I would have taken John Morant over Zion Williamson just because I feel like Zion is an injury waiting to happen. I can't picture that guy just like Andrew said, with that body type, that physicality. I can't see him jumping around without turning an ankle, blowing an ACL. I hope I'm wrong. messing up his
he
knee.
broke
You know,
his shoe.
I can't
His foot
imagine.
came out of his shoe, man, in college. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I can't see that. And John Morant, to be honest with you, he's the real deal. He does everything you need for him to do as a guard.
I
I
think
mean, and more.
he's the next big superstar.
He's super athletic. Uh, probably needs a little bit of more of a basketball IQ, but he can still dish it out and do what he needs to do. And he's got the Grizzlies in contention. What do we think about the Grizzlies? The Grizzlies were nowhere on nobody's radar.
That's a fun team.
And they were on the AC. Yeah.
Knocking on the door, and they're making
Definitely.
nice little comeback there, absolutely. And to your point, Murat is gonna be the next stud in this league, aside from Zion as well. But like you said, I think we can all agree Zion is an injury away from getting hurt and from causing havoc on that Pelicans team. Another team that was interesting. Is they always seem like they're there and they're out, and they signed the guy mid-season was the Portland Trailblazers. Carmelo, man, he's having a pretty good year, given the fact that he hasn't played. He's being productive. Well, I just don't see that team doing much, but I'm surprised. I think I can see Carmelo playing another year. What do you think?
So kudos to Carmelo. He gives us hope that we can get
Chuck's connection there.
back on the
Yeah, Chuck, your connection there is a little bad, man.
Yeah.
I think he's having some issues.
court and maybe do a little something, but shape and out of the player. So
Can you repeat that, man? Because your connection went in and out. Go ahead and repeat that.
you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now. Go ahead and repeat that.
Yeah, so kudos for Carmelo. He gives anybody hope that they can just go back on the court and score points, because he came right out of the street in gym clothes, not so much in shape, and he's still putting up points. He's a scorer. So you can't take the score out of the player. That goes to show you. Vince Carter, I just want to throw in Vince Carter hitting his last shot, his possible last 3-point shot with the Hawks, everyone jumping on him and stuff. Vince Carter, one of the greatest players of our time. Maybe not greatest, but most exciting player of our time is probably the way to put it.
What was the story behind that? Because I heard a lot about that, about him possibly taking his last shot. Did he get injured when he took that last shot?
It's the whole coronavirus. I
The
think
whole
that was the
corona-
last
okay,
game
okay.
that they played, and I think like after that, because I was like a buzzer beater hit, right, or something like that, a 3 at the buzzer, and they ended the game there because of the whole suspension of the coronavirus.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
definitely, and he's 42, 43, something like that. I think he's the oldest player. Yeah, he's the oldest player in the
how
NBA.
many centuries, or he's played in how many decades? It's some crazy thing like that.
Yeah,
to do it at that age and to still be productive, it's unbelievable, man. And kudos to him,
And he was the only one to jump over the coronavirus. He jumped over a Chinese guy in the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Probably one of the greatest dunks to this day. He just literally jumps over a guy. That's
Chucky went there. There.
He had to, man. He had to do that.
We got to call it what it is, as some would say.
Well,
The guy developed the jump shot late in his career, and that's what kept him in it for so long.
Yeah,
so
he hits the 3 from all over the place, man.
Yeah.
What I found most interesting about him, to be honest with you, is that Tracy McGrady is his cousin. And Tracy McGrady was a hell of a baller, too. It's like, wow, cousin over cousin. Yeah, they're actually related some way, somehow.
Today I learned.
And hello?
Hey, we got you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're back.
And then also the Holiday brothers. There's 3 brothers in the NBA. One in the Pacers, one in the Pelicans, and I don't know where the other one is. I think 2 of them are in the
Cutting out again, Chucky.
Yep. It's got that poor man internet.
Pacers. And there's 3 different brothers.
Your hamster's dying on you, Chuck.
Yeah, your connection just keeps going in and out. How about
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was talking about the Holiday brothers.
Yeah.
That I believe there's 3 different brothers in the NBA at the same time. Is that
That's
crazy
ridiculous.
or what?
That's ridiculous. You know what? I see LeBron waiting it out till his kid gets
For his
out of
son.
high school. Yeah. And they're gonna be a father-son duo. I could see that happening. Him signing a 1-year deal wherever his son is drafted and hang it up like that. What do
I
you
think
guys
that's the only thing left for LeBron to do. He's done everything. He really is. He really is the greatest player other than Jordan. I don't know. I don't know how else we put him in history.
He went to
I-
what was it? 8 straight
I agree.
finals, 9 straight finals, something like that. That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's some insane number there. Would that be the first father-son combo in NBA history?
There was a. Yeah, I believe so.
I
Yeah.
think so. I'm thinking about baseball. I know the Griffey father son. There was a couple other guys, but basketball, I think that might be the first father son.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. That'd be crazy.
That'd be cool. And I think by the
Yeah, it'd be
time his
pretty
son
cool.
graduates high school, that rule is going to be that, back in the NBA, that you can go to the NBA straight from high school. So it seems like it's like favorably, in his advantage in order to play with his son.
If they do that, they might kill off a little bit of college basketball. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that rule. I don't know how you guys feel about that rule. At 18, you're allowed to do so many other things. So I don't know why you just won't be able to jump into the NBA. But
I think
Yeah.
that rule's okay, but we don't want guys that don't belong in the NBA to jump. You know what I mean? Obviously, if the skill set is there, then by all means do it. But if guys that don't belong or guys that aren't ready, how do you stop that? I don't know, but I don't think that everybody should be able to do it. Only special players.
Do they have to declare, or aren't they offered a contract? Wouldn't the team that's scouting them out have to offer them something in order for them to actually join the team?
No, they have to declare because they still have to go into the draft, I believe. They're just not going to go to college. Kind of like LeBron.
there's no
LeBron
guarantee.
Yeah, there's no guarantee. It's just like, hey, you
Okay.
declare, then that's it. If you get drafted, great. If not, then join the D League, the G League, or whatever it's called now. And then try to
Wow.
get into
There's
the-
actually a couple players like Moutier who has the coronavirus. Hopefully he's feeling better. But there's also a couple players that go to China or go off seas
Lithuania.
versus going to
True.
college, and they, to get paid, and then they jump into
What's the
NBA
youngest
after
Balls brother? What's
that
his
year.
name? Not Leangelo.
LaMelo.
LaMelo. That dude's gonna probably be the number 1 pick this year.
Yeah, but you know what? The balls. That's what she said. The balls left a bad taste in my mouth.
You know what?
So I don't know
No,
if I
no,
would
no,
go.
you know what? You know what? We're gonna end it with that.
Nice.
That is the best way to end this
Yeah.
podcast. The balls leave a bad taste in your mouth, Chuck.
Wow.
Oh man, that was
With that said, Papito, wrap us out of here. Let the people know.
guys,
what we
thanks
did
a lot
here.
for joining us. It was a great podcast, I believe. We'll do a lot more of these in the future. We'll do sports. We'll try to have a couple more people on. The Swami's a man when it comes to this. A lot of knowledge. But I think overall we did a good job. And until next time, man. You guys want to sign off, Andrew, Chuck?
Chris, thank you for having me on again. I'll promise I'll be better prepared for our NBA segment talks.
No, man, you did
So-
great, man. And I appreciate you guys coming on, man. Anytime you guys come on, more than welcome. You don't need an invitation. You just come on,
Yeah. I mean,
You
we
guys-
got
you
nothing
guys-
better to do nowadays. We're quarantined up.
Yeah, we're
Holed up
pretty
in our
much
house,
at home doing
so-
nothing, right? What else can we do except talk crap with each other?
Yeah, talk crap, create some content that people will hopefully find entertaining. So, I
And
appreciate it, Chris.
if you guys want to listen to anything different, or if you have any questions, or you want to insult us, feel free to do it at papitosworldpodcast@gmail.com. Probably do another email with like Papitos Posse or something like that. It'll be in the works. But and that's all thanks to you, Chino. That's a great name.
Please do insult me. I gave you guys plenty of substance on this
Why don't you
podcast to
show?
do
Why don't you
so.
show? for the people who are going to watch this on YouTube, why don't you show them that jersey? Why don't you show them the back of that? There he goes. Let's turn it around.
The Tropics.
The Flint Tropics. Funny story. We'll talk about that jersey in the next podcast. How that jersey came to your possession. That was a fun night. But yeah, man. Thanks a lot again. And until next time, guys. We'll see you. Take it easy.
Dale.